Hey guys, welcome back. Could do some more work on the generator. So last time we got the alternator making some power. We did the cooling system. So now it's time to start actually sort of buttoning things back up. So we're going to try and make some brackets to carry things like this, and where the cables are going to run. Got to mount the fuel filter. We're going to make it all accessible for when it's in the boat. So I've done a little drawing on the wall here, so I'll try and describe where the generator is going to go and where we need to let pipes and wires go and stuff like that. So let's have a look. So this area here is where the inverter is in the engine room. So obviously you can see the shape of the hull. So the original generator on the boat was here. So I think we should put it back there because we've got a fuel outlet on the fuel tank here. So you can supply fuel. It's got a nice big cold air feed coming down from the funnels at the top, and we've got a through hull, which I'll be changing the through hull anyway for the exhaust. And we've also got a nice little window here. So I'm going to put the generator there. So I've got my little control panel. So I want the control panel there, so we can access it and adjust the parameters of the engine, so the idle and stuff, and all the fuses and whatever will be there. I'm going to put the fuel filter here because this is where the fuel pump's there, so we can pipe that in quite nice. The airbox, I want to get the airbox around here somewhere, so we can pull the air filter occasionally, have a quick look. Obviously all the auxiliary belts on the front of the engine, so we can adapt there. But then we're going to be having our remote control, so remote start stop, so that's going to be up here, so we need the cable run to come down and around there. So the radiator can go out through the hull and through a window, so I'm going to take a window out and then we'll put all the pipe work and stuff and make a blank for the window for now, and then it can cool. Or we can always plumb the radiator upstairs into the cabin, so in the winter we can run the radiator and dissipate heat throughout the boat, so that'll be interesting. Okay, yeah, so let's try and work out some locations for the fuel filter and the control on the airbox. So we need to make some brackets and stuff today. So I think we're going to mount the sandwich box control, which is like the brains behind the engine. That's the speed controller. So it's going to be mounted around here. So I need to make a big sort of semi-substantial upright to mount this to, because the engine's got its own dampening, so hopefully the chassis of the generator should be relatively stable, so shouldn't vibrate too much. And then the fuel filter can be mounted lower down there, because we know our fuel tank's here, so our fuel's got to come in this way and then supply the engine. So that can be mounted there. I think the airbox will have to be mounted around the back. So we're going to be using some 50-50 angle. Obviously a bit rusty, we'll blast it all later when we strip it down, but so that's going to go there. So we're going to have a couple of fixings through the side. So I want to make this removable basically, so if we want to do maintenance or get to the back, we can whiz this off and put it out of the way. So we're going to have that wrap round there, got probably 2 fixings that way and maybe 1 fixing that way or something like that, so it should be relatively secure. So I've drilled the angle, but obviously I've got to drill the frame in position. So I'll clamp it up, try and drill. So what I always do is, always start, so if you've already got a hole and you're trying to line it up, rather than putting a small pilot through which won't hit the centre, so if you start with your goal size, so that'll drill the centre of the hole so it won't wander off. So, and I'll switch to the pilot bit. So the brains are all attached quite nicely now. Should be good. As I say, we've got it removable. So if we need to do any maintenance to the alternator, or I think we can access the alternator from the top, but you never know. We can unbolt it. So the fuel filter I think is going to go around here. So I can mount to the same bracket. And the airbox I think is going to be mounted around here. So then we can easily get the air filter element in and out. So I need to figure out how to attach this round tube to a flattish base. So that's the next project. So found some more rust coloured flat bar, so I'm hoping I can bend this around this tin. Didn't massively go to plan. You need a stronger tin. Plan B, piece of exhaust, clamp down. Everyone needs a plan B, don't they? Hard what? Good enough. Hot. So, as I think I said earlier, our wires are going to be coming out the top, or seeing wires, to our dashboard, which is going to be upstairs somewhere, so we can actually control the generator from like the living area, so you don't have to get out to the engine room to start it, we can just start up there. Anyway, so these wires are going to be going up high and then through the engine room ceiling, and then yeah, so we need to carry the wires up this part here. So the plan is to get some tube, cut it in half, weld like the shells on, and then we're going to give us something to cable tie around. So when we put our conduit up, we can cable tie around these and then put the conduit on. Okay, so we need to cut this in half. So I've made these little clams now. So I've welded like a little nipple on the back, so that'll help it stand off. and then hopefully then the cable tie will be able to pass the little standoff then. So let's weld them. So we now need some good grounding points. I'm going to be using M10 bolts. So I'm going to weld one to the chassis, because obviously the chassis is ground from the engine through the rubber, so it's got a link. We're going to have one up here on our frame, on our alternator frame, because we can't guarantee the ground between the alternator frame and the engine, so we'll be able to link them. Be able to link the engine to the frame as a precaution, basically, and then we can take off from here to the batteries then. So I'm going to weld them on. Another job we need to do as well, doing me saying about the alternator swing. So we need to be able to make the alternator swing better, so we can get some more tension on the belt. And we're going to put like a screw in, so we can actually, like a jack screw I think they're called, so we can actually push on the alternator to hold tension so when we lock it off. So I think I've predicted everything I might need. I need all the little bolts and brackets and stuff, so it's now time to start taking it all apart, find like bits of welding that we didn't quite finish and sort of behind the scenes and stuff, and then we get it all painted up, and then hopefully start to put it back together, and then we can sort the wiring out then when it's all back together. We know where it's going to go then, don't we? So. So we've sandblasted the components that carry the alternator. So now we need to prepare the frame. But to do that we need to get the engine off. If you remember last time I lifted it up and whatever, got a few complaints, and also I didn't hurt myself, but I probably could have done. So I bought myself one of these little ratchety things. So I'm going to lift it up, wheel the trolley out of the way, put the bench underneath it and pull it back down. That's my plan, so let's give it a try. So we'll just leave it there. So they've all been blasted. I've finished off all the little bits of welding. I've had to put like a little relief in the frame here because it's probably about 3 or 4 mil away from the sump, and if you really rock the engine it would clash, so I didn't really want any future issues with rubbing away at the sump. So as you saw then, I've drilled a load of little holes in it so I can put little blanks in it, because I want to spray inside the cavity of the frame. So basically from the car world, it's like sort of a cavity sealer basically. So it comes with like a long tube, so you spray it inside, and then just to try and prevent corrosion in the future. But it is relatively airtight, so right. Okay, so they're all painted up. The other components are outside drying at the moment. So yeah, start putting it back together. Right, let's put the screws in. I've just insulated the heat exchanger. Some people are probably saying, why have you insulated it? So obviously in your car you get lots of like moving air and stuff like that. This is going to be in the engine room, so if we can try and keep the heat in, then we can move the heat to where we want it to go. So obviously I put all this this pipe lagging around it, but we may as well tape it all in position, and I thought I may as well wrap it all up, and everybody likes shiny things, don't they? So right, let's see if it'll still fit with all of its padding on. Cool, so it fits. I have to pull these quite tight because my cups were quite tight, so to get it down low, but not bad, not bad. I think it looks quite good as well. Looks like some big sort of heating installation, doesn't it? Alright, so I've got a few more things now to put back on, all this bracket and stuff like that, so let's press on. Cool, so she's all back together. Well, she's back together in this state. It's going to be doing some alterations, but I'd like to give it a run just to make sure we've not upset it in any way. So obviously we've got a new fuel filter system, so we now need to bleed the fuel. And what I like about this is it's got an off on it, so if we have any issues, can't stop the engine, last ditch resort is turn the fuel off, isn't it? Yeah. Well, you could cover the airbox, but cool. Right, so we now need to bleed it. On this particular fuel housing, it's got 2 bleed screws, so because obviously the fuel goes in, then it goes down through the filter, then back up. So I think they've put 2 on it, just trying to prevent airlock. So at the moment I've got like a little hand prime, so we're waiting for the fuel. You can see the fuel filling now. So let's see if she goes. So, it's all back together, bit of paint on it, a few brackets here and there. We've got our locations kind of sorted out. As we know, all of these are going to go upstairs, so I'll just put them there for now. I've got a big long cable. Yeah, actually worked really well. Had no belt slippage then, which was good, which we did last time. So, next time we're going to be fitting a large cooling fan which goes on the radiator, so hopefully then the fan will kick in, kick out. There's a lot more controls on the engine, on the alternator, which I've been doing some research, but I need to do some more wiring and stuff like that. So yeah, so we can basically control the output of the alternator, which is a bonus. We need to be making. We need to try and figure out how we're going to do the exhaust. So we need to make an exhaust, like a dry exhaust, which is going to go out the window. Then we need to make like a wet exhaust, where the raw water will then introduce into the exhaust. So that's going to be what we're going to be making soonish. What else are we going to do? Oh yeah, it's got out with some wheels, isn't it? So this here I don't like. But obviously the radiator is going to be up higher than the generator, so this is a bit bodgy. I need to find a fitting for here. I'm not very good with fittings. I like it, but I don't. This area here, it's a bit weird. Got to do some more work on the plumbing to the airbox. But yeah, it's going well. Another thing you guys might be able to help out with, because I'm not actually that clever about it. I've still got the original hydraulic pump which goes on the front of the engine, and I think it'd be fantastic to have like a backup hydraulic pump. So maybe I could put like quick connects on it or something, but I'm gonna have to unbolt it because I can't clutch it. I can't stop the pump going. But it'd be good to like be able to connect it to like the steering system. So if we have a problem with because at the moment the port engine runs the steering system on the boat, but it'd be nice if we have a problem with that system or the port engine, we can actually run this pump or this engine to run the steering. So as I say, I'm not that clued up. If you know of any good YouTube videos or something like that I could watch, like on, yeah. So got our 2 drains, so we can now clean out the raw water side of the loop, which I'm quite impressed with. I would open them, but they're full of water at the moment. Put a new belt on it finally. But yeah, so I've got, there's a few bolts here and there which aren't stainless. I thought I bought the right length, but I've just put BZP bolts in it for now. But yeah, so thank you ever so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I've learned a bit. As Doug would say, get out there and make something. We've all got it in us, haven't we? We all want to achieve stuff in life, so just go out there and make it. If you fail, you fail. Failure is always an option, isn't it? Right, cheers guys, see you later, thank you.